Hello everybody and welcome to a brand new episode of the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. We are coming into this game on the road against Texas State. We are 6-0 so far in the season, so not only are we bowl eligible right from the get-go, but we are undefeated so far in the season. So Texas State and our team, are a little bit even when it comes to how it looks on paper, but we are just on two different spectrums in this conference. As you can see here in the standings, we are at 6-0. Texas State is 1-3, so we're definitely going in two different directions over the course of this season. Hopefully we can get another easy win today. First things first, though, we are going to go into this coin toss, which we actually lose, so we will actually get the ball first to start this ball game. And here we are at Bobcat Stadium, and with that kickoff, this game is officially on the way with Casey Bug getting the kickoff, and he has a really nice lane to start it off, but he gets downed at the 45-yard line. But a really nice return by Casey Bug, who doubles as one of our kick returners to start this game off. So here we are, first play of the game. We're going to throw it to Casey Bug, and this dude has been special. Despite having less carries, he already has more yards than he did at this point in the season. Just being able to space out the offense, be a little bit less predictable, has been really crucial for Casey Bug's development in terms of his stats. As you can see it, throwing it over to Tim Smith, he gains 11 yards off the curl route, making it look easy. And then the next play right here, Dan Castillo doesn't see anybody open, and he's going to scramble and use that 87 speed to get right into the end zone. 30-yard touchdown will probably be the easiest touchdown Stan Castillo will have all year. Texas State, however, they went 3 and out on their very first drive. So here we are with the ball right back, and we're going to start off with our second drive with a 17-yard catch from Tim Smith, followed by a nice run by Casey Bug for a gain of 8 yards on the play. Mud Dogs are moving the ball extremely well, and we are off to an extremely hot start. Stan Castillo gets another carry down the middle, and Stan Castillo is just a special cat. Over 600 yards rushing, 8 rushing touchdowns. Also has double-digit passing touchdowns, which we thought was going to be another passing touchdown if he had more time. But Stan Castillo is sacked and fumbles it. Thankfully, Casey Bug is there to pick up the fumble. 3rd and 16 now for your Mud Dogs, and TJ Wood catches a nice ball right up the middle, sets up this Casey Bug touchdown. Thought it was actually going to be a little bit closer, but I guess the officials are going to rule this a touchdown, and your Mud Dogs just out the get-go are going to be up 14-0. So Texas State has another 3 and out, so they are going to punt it right back to us with Mike Bullock set to return for your South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. And he has a lot of room to work with. He only has to beat a couple more people, but he's stopped at the 45-yard line. Really nice return, and Stan Castillo is just running his way down for another gain of 13 yards. South Central Louisiana State is just enforcing its will on the game right now. It is just a beautiful thing to watch if you're a South Central Louisiana State fan. No need to see any highlights for the defense, because Texas State actually needs to do something half-ass interesting on offense. 1st and 10, though, for South Central Louisiana State. He should have took that to the outside, as I realize that, but he still has a solid gain of 7 yards on the play. Makes it a manageable 2nd and 3. Very next play, though, Stan Castillo is going to drop back. He throws it right behind the defender, and somehow Tim Smith is able to hang on to it and make the catch. Your Mud Dogs are going to take a 21-0 lead. Texas State, however, is not going to give up without a fight on their home stadium, as Tim Marshall gets Texas State's first down of the game, helping the team get down the field and make it a little bit more respectful on the offensive end, as Dan Gardner gets another catch for 14 yards. Very next play, Akeem Fix is going to drop back the pass. This time he's going to get it to his running back, and Dan Gardner once again for another 1st down. Be interesting to see if Texas State can get some points on the board for this drive, as Dan Gardner wills his way for a 10-yard game off the halfback screen. Thought it was going to be stopped for a lot shorter. But Dan Gardner just has the will to bring his team back into this game, or at least try to. Be interesting to see what happens on the rest of his drive. As speaking of Dan Gardner, it looks like he injured his ribs on the play, so we'll have to check out what ends up happening to him. Although it doesn't really matter for this particular drive because Ricky Johnson does finish it off with a 9-yard touchdown, making this a 21-7 game going into the end of the first quarter. The South Central Louisiana State offense is moving extremely well. Can they keep it up for the remaining 3 quarters, however? We're going to soon find out as Casey Bugg takes the carry and gets another first down, gain of 9 yards on the play. A couple of plays later, Stan Castillo is set to drop back the pass. It's actually a halfback screen, and Casey Bugg gets a nice 6-yard gain on the play, makes it 3rd and 4 for the Mud Dogs. Very next play, Stan Castillo drops back the pass. He doesn't have any time, so he tries to jump it off to John Espinoza, who drops it, which means Texas State is going to have an opportunity to make this a one-possession game. It was a really tough start for Texas State, but they have a chance to make this a ball game after all, which is kind of disappointing. You have to think if you're a South Central fan, you think after that 21-0 lead that they have a chance to, and Elliott Johnson is stuffed by Tyree Pickens. Pickens is known for his coverage abilities, but he can lay the lumber as well, and it leads to a 4th down as the receiver can't hold on to it. Your Mud Dogs are going to get the football back with very good field possession, as Stan Castillo is just continuing to gash this Texas State defense, not only with the arm but also with the legs as well. Casey Bugg is also doing his thing as well with that 6-yard carry. He has 47 yards already in this game. A couple of plays later, 2nd and 3, and Ryan Wilson drops it, but it will be picked off by the free safety. That is so unfortunate. Tim Smith has his hands on it originally. It was a beautiful throw by Stan Castillo, but Tim Smith just can't hang on to it, and it turns into an interception. Can't blame it on the quarterback when you see amazing plays like that on defense. However, our own defense is making some solid plays after we force that 2nd and 14. I believe Nicholas Beverly there is able to track down the running back, and we will get the ball right back. So we don't have to pay for the interception on the previous drive, as Casey Bugg is going to get the catch from Stan Castillo, gain 10 yards on the play. Sets up his 2nd and 8 a couple of plays later that Ryan Wilson drops once again. Ryan Wilson is just having a tough day holding on to the ball. 2 targets, 2 drops so far, and it's just been a rough game as our drive ends up stalling out. So after a strong start in the first quarter, things start to calm down just a little bit as South Central Louisiana State will still have a 21-7 lead. Texas State, however, will have the ball to start the second half as it looks like backup running back Johnson has a huge lane. He breaks a tackle and he is down at the 20-yard line. Huge gain by Elliott Johnson, gains 55 yards, and it puts the Texas State Bobcats in the red zone. Can they execute the opportunity? But it's nearly picked off by the senior safety in James Joyce. Side note, looks like the backup quarterback is in as well, as Texas State will have to settle for a field goal attempt. Casey Bugg will now start this next offensive drive with a 12-yard carry on the play. Continues to move the chains for the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. Very next play, though, John Espinoza actually misses a block that could have went for so much more. But if we will take a 9-yard gain on the play by our star quarterback. Very next play, Stan Castillo is going to drop back the pass. He throws it to John Espinoza and is able to hold on to it for a gain of 21 yards. So now here we are in Texas State territory once again, as we mentioned plenty of times today, as we try to get it over to Darren Joyce on the run, but Stan Castillo just doesn't have the arm accuracy just yet to pull that off consistently. However, what we can pull off is a nice halfback screen, and what a juke move to get by the Texas State defender and get even more yards than what was originally anticipated. And it sets up another beautiful run for Casey Bugg as they have a 1st and goal opportunity inside the 5-yard line. Couple of plays later, backup running back Carl Wright is now in the game and is able to run it in easily for a touchdown. So your Mud Dogs will be able to take a 28-10 lead. Few minutes left in this third quarter as Elliott Johnson tries to make something out of nothing, but they're gonna be forced to punt once again. Another 3 and out for Texas State. This time Mike Bullock is gonna get another nice hole. He has plenty of room to run, but he can't run away from one of the defenders. It's a nice 25-yard return on the play, and it sets up a nice field position for your Mud Dogs as Tim Smith makes the catch for 11 yards. Very next play on the 25-yard line, going to get it out to John Espinoza, who nearly breaks the tackle, I thought, but will settle for a nice 8-yard gain for a small 2nd and 2. Very next play, it's going to be a run up the gut for Casey Bugg, and Casey Bugg is able to gain another 11 yards on the play, which makes it another 1st and goal opportunity. Next play, looks like Darren Joyce is finally able to get his hands on the football for a gain of 6 yards on the play, makes it a reasonable 2nd and goal on looks like about the 2-yard line, which will be finished off by halfback Casey Bugg as he's able to run into the end zone and get another easy touchdown for your Mud Dogs. So now South Central Louisiana State will have a 35-10 lead. At this point, if Texas State doesn't get anything going here anytime soon, you have to wonder when the backups will come in for the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. The stars have certainly looked good today, with the exception of Robert Scott being able to escape the pocket and get the scramble. But, you have to wonder if we will see the backups in this game today. But enough about the backups right now. Robert Scott's going to try to scramble, and he meets a brick wall in Bobby Boucher. So at the end of the third quarter, it looks like it's going to be another easy win for the South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. It's just a matter of whether the backups will get more significant playing time or not. However, Texas State is simply not going to quit just yet for this home crowd, as he's going to dump it off to Tim Marshall, makes it a reasonable 3rd and 8. And it looks like Coach is going to lock in on James Joyce, see what James Joyce's point of view looks like, although Matt Fox is going to be able to get away from both those guys and get the first down, and sets up this first down by backup running back Elliott Johnson for a gain of 11 yards. Another first down for Texas State. Next play, it looks like a halfback screen is coming up. However, Robert Scott does not have any time to get the pass off. Makes it a 4th and 10, which Texas State is going to go for it here. Although it looks like Derek Whitaker is wide open in the back of the end zone, and Texas State is going to cut this to a free possession game. However, Ryan Wilson is able to get his hands on the onside kick, so we have plenty of chances to at least melt a little bit of time off this clock. Stan Castillo is going to start this next drive with a play action pass. Play action is going to go to, looks like Tim Smith, who gets his 5th catch of the day for 67 yards so far. However, on the next play, Stan Castillo doesn't have any time to get the ball off. It's going to be 3rd and 10 now for your South Central Louisiana State Mud Dogs. The pass is going to get off to Nate Colvin, who is just shy of the first down, and your Mud Dogs are going to have to settle for a field goal. So if Texas State wants to have any hope of coming back into this game, they have to get a touchdown on this drive. And it starts off well for them. Gets the first down on the first play of the drive. Next play with Robert Smith, the backup quarterback, dropping back the pass. Matt Fox, is able to gain 7 yards and get out of bounds, so at least temporarily stopping the clock. Of course, you got to, and then right there, Robert Phillips is able to get another easy first down, and Robert Scott is able to escape the pocket. I thought he was going to potentially be sacked, but that's simply not going to happen. Looks like Texas State is still going to have a fighting chance here. Can they finish the drive off, though? You'll just have to wait and see. 3rd and 1, though, for Texas State, and this time thought we were going to sack him once again, but instead it's going to be a 1st and goal inside the 10-yard line. However, we do have a flag on the previous play, which backs up the Texas State Bobcats a little bit. However, that won't matter because it brings in a really close opportunity. However, Jason Washington is having none of it as he stops the quarterback for a 4-yard loss, sets up this 4th and goal opportunity, and Bobby Boucher lays down the wood, just breaks his running back's heart, and that's going to seal the deal. Your Mud Dogs are going to leave Texas State and Bobcat Stadium with a 38-17 win. So here we are with the stats for today's game, and Stan Castillo has a pretty solid game on his hands. Goes 16 for 21, 175 yards, and a touchdown with that interception. Granted, that interception is not his fault. Ryan Wilson should have caught that one pass. Otherwise, that interception would have never happened whatsoever. As for the running game was humming along really well. Casey Bug had 18 carries for 123 yards and a couple of touchdowns. Stan Castillo also did pretty good on the ground. Off of 10 carries, he had 85 yards for an obscene 8.5 yards a carry. And of course, that 30-yard touchdown. And then Carl Wright had a couple of goal line carries and vulture a touchdown from Casey Bug as well. As for our receivers, Casey Bug and Tim Smith led the day with 5 catches each, with 41 and 67 yards respectfully. Ryan Wilson, though, did have a tough game today. He had 2 targets, and both of them were drops, one of which led to an interception, so that's always discouraging to see. But I know this is a talented freshman, so he's going to be able to come back a lot stronger than he did in this game here today. As for our defense did a pretty good job today. It was led by the sophomore middle linebacker in Bobby Boucher. He has 8 tackles today, also had 3 tackles for a loss, but he didn't lead the team in TFLs. That belongs to sophomore defensive lineman Jason Washington, who is quickly becoming a star himself on his defensive end. Had a couple of huge sacks as well, and we just had a bunch of contributions in terms of stopping our Texas State counterparts for losses whenever need be. We also have 5 sacks total on the day. Jason Washington and Bobby Boucher each had 2 sacks, with the other sack coming from junior's defensive tackle Ben Miller. And then as a result of that, we also get another couple of recruits to come to our school, being able to bolster that recruiting class. Hopefully that will bring in stronger recruits for us, as our created recruit in Tammy Groff is considering 2 other schools, but we are certainly have the opportunity to bring her on, and she could be a future starter for South Central Louisiana State. Alright, that's all I have for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment for your boy in terms of how we're doing so far this season. And if you're brand new, subscribe to the channel, as I plan to drop more college football and a little bit of pro basketball content. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Take care.